Hello everybody, and welcome back to Coldcraft. My name is Laynce, and I will be your guide for the episode. As you've just seen, the server took a little field trip to the end. Surprisingly, no one died. Crazy and I decided against end busting without wings, so we set out for an alternative method. See, in our server, we have a data pack that drops wings, an egg, and a dragon head every time it's slain. So off to the nether, Crazy and I went to gather gas tears for the end crystals. For me, getting wings went flawlessly. However, the same could not be said for my dear friend, Mr. Lord. Alas, we finally got our wings and parted ways. Now that should be where the story ends. Fully geared up, finally ready to advance to bigger projects. But as you can see by the color of my boots, there was a bit of a disaster. See, while Crazen and I needed wings, Pixel needed dragon skulls. A lot of dragon skulls. And the easiest way to get them, like Elytra, was through defeating more dragons. So back to the nether I went. I only ended up getting like 1 or 2 tiers because it was so hard to find gas, which is weird because it seems like they're only there when you don't want them to be. I was probably out there for like 40 minutes and I only found like 10. Originally I had only gone out for the tiers, but in typical Laynce fashion, I was seduced by the thought of treasure and decided to loot a bastion. In boots. Things actually went pretty smoothly. I looted every chest, got a few netherite scraps, a lodestone, and some other loot. I was able to put all of this into an ender chest, so I actually still have that. However, as I was trying to leave, I noticed Polar was trapped by 2 pigman brutes.
Help me.
I knew I couldn't leave him there, so I pulled out my bow and saved the day. But the rush of the adventure must have gone to my head because, yeah, okay, maybe that didn't actually happen. Truth is, while I was gathering the last of the gold at the bottom of the bastion, I was mauled by magma slimes. Most of it's probably despawned now. You'd think this is a lesson that I'd learn from it and wear more armor, but I'm not going to. You might be wondering why I do that to myself. Well, Minecraft is too easy, and I like the way my skin looks, so I consider it a fun challenge. The only reason I want to keep the boots is for feather falling, which by the way is the best enchantment in the game. Fortunately, Nitro was nice enough to trade us a stack of logs for an elytra and a few stacks of rockets, so we're not completely powerless. So this is now the second pair of wings I've gotten today. It shouldn't be too difficult to get back to where we were. I just need to enchant a new elytra, get some new boots, and some new tools. Now that I think about it, it's kind of expensive. Crazen was also nice enough to get us another pair of boots, so we are back up in the boots department. The only thing I need left now is my tools. But as you can see, we have no diamonds. So quite obviously this poses an issue. I can't really buy any more tools, I can't make any more tools, and yes, I know the obvious answer is mining, but I'd like to get my diamonds in a more creative way, and I think we'll do that by building a shop. You may be wondering what I will be selling for this season. That is, hats. That's right, we're going to be making a hat store for this season. What kind of hats? Well, that's where I need your help. I need you to help me come up with some designs. So in the comments, let me know, what kind of hat should I make? So I don't think the shopping district has been shown in my video yet, but so far, this is the plan. We're going to have a coastline shopping district. We might expand out into the water or further down in this area. But yeah, a lot of it is going to be accessible by boat. We decided we wanted a more unique approach to a shopping district, so that's kind of why we went with the water idea. One thing that we will need to keep in mind though is we're going to need some canals between the shops, that way if we do move back, we'll be able to access them easier with boats. So in the end of the last episode we made these cliffs here, and since then Bacon has built his starter base into the wall of this mountain. If you go through the mouth here, you can see there's a button, and when you press that button, it opens up into this crazy base, which I think he's in the process of working on. But as you can see, the paths look rather unfinished at the moment, so Crazen and I are going to go ahead and work on that. We've been talking about what we want to do, and we've decided that after working on this pathway, we're also going to add a waterfall coming down from his place to my little pond. Eventually, we'll also continue this pathway through the top of this mountain, and maybe there will be something up here as well.
Laynce, hello.
Hello.
How would you like to make this area beautiful? Yeah, I mean, your area is already beautiful, but I just want to, basically, I want your help with my part. No, I'm just kidding. Kind of kidding. And I also wanted to ask you, how would you feel about a waterfall?
I think a waterfall actually would be a pretty dang good idea.
I feel like it's just meant to be.
Yeah, it's already kind of set up for it.
Shall we get to it then?
Let's do it. Man, that was a lot of work. You know what time it is?
Is it boat time?
It's boat time. Was that the segue?
You're driving. Yep, I'm putting that in the video.
Let's
That's
go.
in the video.
Whee!
Woohoo!
Yahoo! Here we go. Oh,
Oh,
there
no.
we go.
Oh no, we got it. Yep.
We missed.
We did it.
Yeah. Man, Coldcraft water park complete. All right. All right, our next shop, we're going to be selling tickets.
10 diamonds a piece. One ride down the waterfall.
Another thing I've yet to show is where I'm going to be making the national park. Because I'm low on rockets, I'm going to go into cheaty cam here, but I've picked out this giant flower forest as kind of a starting point for the national park. Now I'm hoping that when I'm done with this place, it will be unrecognizable. I'm going to be making a few custom biomes, maybe even a custom mountain, some lakes. It's going to be a ton of work, but it's going to be super cool. I've also been considering moving in this direction because we get this really cool island and this neat mountainside. And we've got this windswept hills to work with as well, which is possibly my favorite biome in the whole game. You see we have this nice lake, which we'll probably end up doing something with. We might overhaul this village, but I'm not sure what we're going to do with this yet. One thing I've been trying to get better at is terraforming and making custom trees, and this project will definitely give me a chance to learn more about both of those things. So if all goes to plan, we're going to have one incredibly massive project on our hands, and I am all for it. But enough talking about mega bases, let's get to building a store. Hi! So it's been a while since my last clip, and that's because I was on vacation, and then I ran into some creative block, but now I'm back. And as you can see, I've gathered some resources, and so we are now ready to construct the store. I've also been talking to a few other people on the server about the shopping district, and it looks like we're going to have 2 shopping districts. One of them will be here, like I said before, but there may be plans to do a second one elsewhere. Reason being, this shopping district is going to be themed like Venice, and the second shopping district is going to be kind of miscellaneous, build whatever you want. At the time of designing my shop, I thought the whole shopping district was going to be Venice themed, so that's what I made it to look like. So without further ado, let's get to building a store. And there we have it. This is the tailor shop, and where we will be selling our hats. This building took me, I think, 3 days to actually design. I'm in free cam just so I can talk about details a little bit. You can see I used some walls and some stairs to kind of show that the building's a little bit falling apart. There's somewhat of a gradient going up from the deep slate to the tough and cobblestone. This is interesting because I put lichen on the moss and on the brick to kind of smooth that a little bit, so from afar, it looks like it blends a little bit better. This is probably my new favorite potted plant design. Just using the decorated pots, it has this slight edge that I think just looks really nice. If we go inside, you can see there's room for hats on the walls. We'll have some armor stands here. I might change out the carpet because I forgot about soul speed. But yeah, the armor stands will be posed and they'll have the custom hats on them. Be able to buy the products from the barrels over there and up here. You can see I'm using some interesting blocks in this room. I'm using smithing tables, blast furnaces, pistons, and beehives. And you can see just how nicely it works in this room. On the outside, you can see the piston gives it kind of a foundation on this level with the stone, but then moves up to this oak, which transitions to the rest of the building. Up at the top, there's not really anything up here. It's literally just a room to hang out in. I just wanted the 3rd floor but didn't know what to put up here. You might be wondering why I mined out so much just for me to put it over here. And that's because I'm planning on expanding out into this area as well. So this will be the first of many shops going into this area. What we'll probably end up doing is having a stone path that comes all the way through here, and then a canal that cuts through that. So you can kind of imagine the ocean being on this side, and if you want to go into the store, you just go up the staircase, but if not, you just go over the bridge, and then there will be a few other stores over here and over here. I'll probably end up digging more just because of how large this area might need to be, but I feel like it works pretty well for what we have now. And eventually there will be many more people making shops as well, so we're not gonna be the only one. And the question you're not asking yourself right now is, Laynce, you can't be wearing that and working in this fancy place. You gotta be wearing something fancy. Oh, yeah, no, I got a skin just for this shop. I may have got a little bit overboard, but I think I look very dashing. You can see I've got the tape measure around my neck. I'm ready to fit people's hats on their head. And although I'm not doing any clothing, I think it looks great. Designing glasses to fit my face was interesting as well. I actually had to get rid of my eyebrows. So that is our first shop complete. Except for the products, of course. Hopefully by the next episode I'll have at least a few hats ready. Whoops. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. I also like to apologize for how late this video came out. As I mentioned before, I kind of hit a creative block, and then on top of that, I went on vacation. So now that I'm finally back, hopefully I will be having an episode once a week. One thing I want to mention before we end the episode is that Spawn has got a little bit of a makeover. There is now this ginormous cherry tree that Nurs, Crazen, and I designed. There's also this cute little squirrel up here too. But yeah, this place is really coming together now. We're probably going to end up working on this place a little bit in the next episode as well. You can see I've already started planning out some pathways. You can see I've had the pleasure of doing some of the terraforming here. I was trying to put a little bit of a story into this tree as well. You can see I kind of have the dirt going up against the tree. I wanted to make it look like the wind had blown it there. And this is actually the stump here, but it's growing outwards and then up. So I was trying to have a rock here that's kind of supporting the tree so that the tree looked like it was growing with the terrain it was given. We're also going to have the main nether portal in here as well. I typically don't play with shaders in this world, but look how pretty this looks. So I think that's a pretty good place to stop for this episode. We got our wings, dyed, built a shop, built a tree, but I really can't wait to see what comes of this place. And don't forget to tell me what kind of hat you want me to make. If you guys liked today's video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye bye.